I'm going to be talking with Destyn Bowers, your Grand Prix Gulf Coast Roast winner in Dallas, Texas, today on Read Between the Lines. Hey, I want to take a few seconds today to talk to you about my sponsor for today's video, KGS Cards. Now look, whether you're a game store or a player, KGS Cards is your wholesale and retail distribution for Vampire the Eternal Struggle. That's who I go to. Look, I'm a local game store owner and I'm a VTES player, brother. And when I need my product, it's KGS Cards that I go to. So look, man, if you're needing like starter decks, okay, new bloods, how about that 30th anniversary special? Any of those amazing V5 products that are coming out right now, KGS Cards can set you up. And gang, you know what else I get from them? I get sleeves. I get play mats. That's right. Anything that's got that Vampire the Eternal Struggle stuff going on, brother, I get it from KGS Cards, man. Absolutely. And right now, KGS is currently offering 3rd Tradition Progeny and 4th Tradition accounting promos with orders. So just check out KGS Cards for details. That's www.kgs-card.com. www.kgs-card.com. Tell them the Water Dog sent you. That's right. The Water Dog sent you. Greetings and salutations and welcome to Read Between the Lines. I am your host, the Water Dog, and I'm going to be talking to Destyn as he just knocked in his first tournament win. Is that right, brother?
Yes, sir.
First tournament win. But before we talk about Destyn's great victory, I need you to do me a kind favor. Would you please hit that subscribe button? It means a whole lot to me, and I appreciate it very much. All right, let's get to it, man. First win, I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
And a man of my own heart.
Yeah.
You played the paw.
I did.
Played the paw.
I did.
All right, I love it. I love an Animalism deck, brother.
I know.
So let's do this. Let's break down your deck for us real quick. Go through your crypt for us if you could.
Okay. For my crypt, I have Massimiliano. I have 2 copies of him. I also had Doc Martina, along with Keegan, Kuyin, Luciano, Martina, Roberto, Gathy, Whisper, and Shrooms. Basically all is just animalism, superior animalism and outferior fortitude, mainly what I was going for all my crypts, because it all combos into most of how my combat was going to go. I mean, it was heavy combat, pretty much only combat with rush. So the main whole idea of the deck was go backwards to hurt my predator until they had nothing left, and then after that it was just forward.
Man from my heart, you go backwards first, man. That's right. All right, so that's the crypt. That's the crypt breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we get to it's the action modifiers that I want to talk about with you, brother. But let's go through your MasterCard package. What you got?
I have 2 Dreams of the Sphinx, 1 Metro Underground, and 4 Valine. That was my master.
7 masters, right?
7 masters.
7 masters. So it's a very small. And when I first started playing my Animalism deck, it was a very small MasterCard package.
Yeah.
I changed that up because what happened with me was I would run out of cards.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I added Master tablets to
saw that.
recycle the
Yeah.
cards, okay? Just to get that. Just because if I run out of cards, I get at least a 3 pull out of it, and then you get a chance to get your 13 cards back, and that kind of helps you refuel for a thing.
Yeah, I saw that when we played, and I've considered that too a lot of times with all of my combat decks, because it's the same thing. Usually you run out of cards, you run to hold. If you're playing multiple combats, you're going every turn, you're going 3, 4, 5 combats, you're turning through all your combat cards, so the recursion really helps. But I decided to just do a simple, sweet, clean bread and butter of animalism combat, and the whole goal was to just have the cards when I needed them at all times.
Okay, so let's go through the actions. Let's talk about what actions you got, brother.
I have Army of Rats. I only had 1. I had 19 Deep Songs, and then 2 Tear of Souls.
2 Tear of Souls, 19 Deep Songs.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
so your package is a little bit different than mine.
Yes.
Okay, I like to talk to the KGs as the variety, so that in case something gets blocked, I free drive, I can go back to that, so I can still do the 2 different rushes. But 19 Deep Songs.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let's get to my favorite part of this deck, which is the action modifiers. Here we go.
I had 16 action modifiers, 4 of Adhocracy, and then I had 12 of the Neo. I don't know necessarily how to say it. Ni Deo Ne Muerte.
All right, so let's talk about the card. So tell us, what does the card do for you?
the card does for me, as I play a card, as the action is announced, I may play it, and I can play it for Animalism, and some of my vampires I can play it for Fortitude. At Animalism, if the action is blocked, you cannot maneuver through the whole entire combat. You just don't get maneuvers, and at Fortitude, it is a burn 1 to attempt to block.
All right, so I love that. So the great thing is it protects your A for bats.
Yes.
Is what it does. It protects your A for bats, and I thought that was it was something that we really haven't seen.
Yes.
Okay, so I think it tricked up a few players when you played that.
It did. In one game, it was very pivotal going into a Bruja with IG, so a mortal grapple, hands is what it was, with some dodges here and there, but that was my whole idea with putting it in, was I wanted to be able to beat out the other combats, which is most of the time going to be a mortal grapple. So I go for a deep song rush, I put that in, they want to try to block me, well they go block me, now they can't maneuver. I am protected for 8 for bats, so just keep going, keep going, keep going.
All right.
So,
I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so that's the action. That was all the action modifiers, right?
yes sir.
All right, so now we're going to go into what you got rested in the deck. What we got left?
I had 3 retainers, so it was a Raven Spy, and then the majority of it, I have 42 combat cards. So I have 19 8 from bats, 9 carrying crows, 2 conquer the beast, 3 drawing out the beast, 4 pack alphas, and 5 elites.
Okay, so four pack alphas, but only 3
Only 3 Raven
Only
Spies.
3 Raven Spies. Okay. All right. So really good package.
Yes.
You did one thing and
Yes.
and you just did it over and over and over and over and over and over again until it just pays off for you and goes, and it worked great for you. All right. So that's the deck. Now let's go through it round by round. So how did the first round go for you?
The first round I got 3 and the table win. Fortunately, all the tables being sets of 4 were fairly great in my favor. First table I had stealth bleed in front, stealth bleed behind, but across from me was another rush combat. So 2 stealth bleeds with rush combat. I first turn draw, I have dreams, and I was going forth with a 5 cap in there, so I pulled out a 5 cap turn 1. My predator goes to pull out his 7 cap. First turn, first action, deep song rush backwards. I play out the full combo and torpor his first minion before he even gets an action. So basically at that point it ground him to a halt, and then I was just forward. I torpored a couple of those guys and just was bleed. With that whole thing in mind of that's what I was going for. So my predator played 2 cards the whole game because that's basically where I left him. And then it came down to combat versus combat. And it was the IG, basically the same thing. So I ended up grinding him out with my combat versus his combat. And it was 1 minion versus 4, and he conceded. So I wrote the.
All right, so you had 3 VPs in the game win?
3 VPs.
So that was round 1. So you get the game win on the round 1. So let's go to round 2. What happens round 2?
Round 2 was a pretty rough for me, actually. I got sat in front of a very, very fast Banu Key deck that's all Hakeem's Law, just tons of combat cards, so it's stealth.
Must have been Matt's
stealth,
deck.
Yes.
A Matt's deck, because I played Destyn too, so
Stealth
yes, it's
bleed.
filthy nasty.
Stealth bleed, and even with the 20 or the 19 that I had of the deep songs, I ended up having an issue because I didn't have one in my starting hand. So he got to have a minion out, and instead of my first minion being able to go backwards and immediately take out his first minion, he actually got to keep one in play, which allowed him to play the Hakeem's Law. If I had torped his first one, he wouldn't have got to even play his master cards. I would have just paced him at the same thing. You pull out one, I put one down. You pull out one, I put one down.
Gotcha.
So I ended up taking him out, and he lost, but I had to spend all the time going backwards, and basically my Grand Predator won the game off of me
Doing the back out, having to go back out. Yeah. And but that's the risk you take.
Yes.
Because sometimes what happens is when you're playing, especially today, because we're playing with nothing but pods of 4. Now, let's clarify. We had 16 players we're playing, and that changes the dynamic of games, and especially for a combat deck.
Yes.
Because it really kind of hurts you there a little bit, playing in that pod of 4 thing. So that's a difficult thing. So.
Yeah.
Round 2 not so successful?
No.
I know all about round 3.
Yes.
Tell them how you killed me.
Yeah, round 3, it was same story. First thing was go backwards for your first one, you put them down. I did that successfully. And then after that, my predator was crippled, basically no pressure, so it was all forward at that point. And it was animalism into animalism. I just happened to have the cards, did not.
Could not draw carrying crows to save my life, man. I went through 40 cards.
So,
sad.
Yeah, and then it really helps. That one I actually ended up losing, similar to why you were saying that you put in Astro Tablets. I decked myself. I had 2 cards in my hand at the end of the game. I just didn't have the payload.
So you got the 1 VP.
It was barely too slow. I had too much combat because I was rushing, you were rushing me. So I was doubling the combat that I was anticipating.
Right. Because you went through almost about half your deck by the time you ousted me.
Easily.
Yeah.
I think when I ousted you, I had already gone through 50 cards.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
And so then it was me into another combat, which was Matt. And so I was just tossing cards. He was tossing cards.
He was playing Bruja.
Yeah, it was too much combat on one table. And it's similar to, because it was a seating of 4, and so it was combat in front of me, combat in front of that, and then I have to go backwards because I can't let anything come at me. I have no defense other than killing you. That was how it was for that. But the 1 VP
helped get you to the finals.
Scored my
So you got to the
seeding
roll off.
to the finals to roll off, and thankfully my rolling actually didn't fail me this time.
Because you were in the roll off last night, and
Yes.
you missed the roll off last night.
Yes.
To lose 2 roll offs in a row, we were all talking. That would have been just devastating. If
Yes,
you lost
it
2
would
roll
have.
offs.
Because I already, even at losing last night, I was out of 3 finals to roll offs at that point. So that would have made it 4.
All right, let's talk about the final table now.
Yes.
Okay. So after all the die rolls and everything else, what was your position?
After all the die rolls, I was 5th.
So you're just on the table.
I'm
You're
just
setting
on
up
the
on the table.
table.
So you're playing Animalism. Who's 4th? What do they got?
4th was Brad, and he had a wall Auspex deck. It was guns, Auspex, bunch of wakes, some bounces, but mainly it was just, I'm going to stand here, you have to try to get through that. If I block you, I'm going to shoot you for 2. So Brad, I had played him in a previous game in our second round, and it wasn't a problem really for me because Animalism does very well into guns, and so I wasn't too worried about that. But after that was Chris, who was also another Animalism.
So where did he set himself?
He set himself actually behind me. He was going to be my predator.
Oh, okay, so that's where he goes. So it's going to be Animalism guns. Who's next?
It was Darby. So Darby sat himself between me and Brad.
Okay, he's Toreador.
He was Toreador vote,
Okay.
huge caps, 8, 9s, massive votes with push, voter cap, everything like that. And then last was Dean with stealth bleed. He was actually seed number 1, and he
Demutation bleed.
Demutation bleed, and he mistakenly thought that Chris was going to be doing voting. So
He misread Chris's.
he misread Chris's
Chris.
deck. As far as I know, everybody kind of let everybody know what I was playing.
Yeah.
So my deck was known by everybody, and so he thought that Chris wasn't going to be doing any rushing. Well, he sat between 2 Animalism decks. with Rush.
And that hurts. So I'm going to assume then, as the game goes, he's the first one out.
He was the first one out.
So Dean dies first. I'm going to
dies.
assume Brad dies second.
Brad dies second.
So now here we go. We got 2 Animalism decks, and we got Darby with the Toreador. What happens?
And so even before that, I had already roughed up Darby because he's my prey even before, and with Chris going backwards and me, or I went backwards a couple times, Chris is coming forward to rush him down, so that's dealt with. After he gets Brad with the help from Chris, Chris then does the same thing. We do the same thing to Darby. We team up. We torpor all of his guys. He's got basically nothing left. I mean, we're all sitting at maybe 5-6 pool. We're all in range.
All ousting.
All ousting. So it gets to Chris's turn, and he's going for the lunge. So he plays a. Man, you probably have to help me on this one. Anarch, where you can burn 1 to get a plus bleed. Can't think of what it's called right now.
Oh, the Club Illusion.
Club Illusion. So he plays a Club Illusion, and he's trying to get me because I'm at 6, and with the Club Illusions, that now becomes
That
a
was
possibility.
amazing. Tanner
So
was like,
he needed the deep song. He had one in hand and he got it, but he needed the second one and he didn't draw into it. So it went to my turn and I attempted the same thing. I attempted a lunge. So I deep song for 4 with the, because I have Anarchs too, so I used the Club Illusion.
Gotcha.
And I played a deep song and my action modifier.
Right.
I can do that.
So you can then bleed for 4.
Yes.
You got Club Illusion, Adhocracy, Deep Song, boom. Gotcha.
No, I didn't play Adhocracy. I actually played the other one. So I didn't need the Adhocracy. I had a Tear Souls.
Okay.
Plus
Gotcha.
a Deep Song.
Gotcha. Okay.
Plus the Club Illusion, I was at 4.
Okay.
What I was needing to draw into because Darby was at 8. So I needed the 1 extra. If I didn't draw into the card, which I top decked later, because of the card draw I could do off of Deep Song with the action modifier as announced, I did that twice, which allowed me to draw 4 cards.
Much to get
I top decked the 1 card I needed to out.
That's what you got to do, brother. That's what
So,
you got to do.
That was how
So
I
you got
did-
Darby, and then
I got-
that gives you the VP there, and then it's
Yes.
just you and Chris.
At that point, yeah. So I got to 7, and Chris then went and tried to lead me out. He only had 2 minions. I had 2 minions. My next turn, I torpor both of his, and he concedes and hands me the win.
Brother. Congratulations.
That was how it went. Yeah.
Show him that prize. Show him what that thing, baby. Look at this big old disarm you got him right there, man. All right. I love it, man. Hey, man, congratulations. I love it,
thank
man.
you.
First win.
First win.
Man, this has been a great year so far because, we got, Sid got his first win.
Yeah.
Clint got his first official win. You got your first win. All you young whippersnappers are beating us up, old salty dogs down here in the South. We can't stand it, man. They just tearing us up. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, gang, this has been Reading Between the Lines. I'm the Water Dog. This is Destyn, brother. You listened to that big tournament win here in the Gulf Coast Roast. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.
Thank you.